No! Don't you dare accuse me of using you. I can't control what happens or doesn't happen. I only see things that could happen. You're my friend. When I saw you could have what you wanted, that you could be a hero, and it would save Unsel, I swear, I didn't mean to use you. Welcome back, and thanks for joining me for this week's review of the wonderful story of Angst by David J. Pedersen here on the Bored Goddess Book Reviews. Greetings, gentle lords and ladies, and welcome. I am the Bored Goddess, and I am thrilled with the wonderful response from everyone for my cosplay book reviews. If you haven't done so already, please remember to like and subscribe, and let's not forget that little bell. And while you're out there helping my channel to grow, help me out by giving me some feedback in the comments below to let me know what you'd like to see in these videos. I'm here to give indie authors the respect and honor due their wonderful work, and for that to continue, your help is of the utmost importance. For those new to my channel, this is Mad Max, my chief ratings duck. He scores the points within my review and calculates them with scientific precision for his final determination to be revealed at the end of the video. Today, I am reviewing Angst by David J. Pedersen, a story I have enjoyed reading several times since meeting the author at my very first literary convention. It was after entering this Elysian hall of unending stories. I did what any good book nerd would do, sliding oh so suavely into the merchant room. Lo, what did I behold with my wondering eye? Rows and rows of new authors. Masses of merchants selling mountains of books. And rows of publishers who specialized in every random genre in existence, including those I had never heard of or could even imagine existing. Guys, I had just entered Nirvana, while taking in almost more than my poor ADHD-riddled brain could withstand. My eye was drawn across the room to a sword next to a table. This awesome piece seemed almost taller than its owner, and, having a fascination for the art and precision of bladesmithing, I just had to have a look for myself. With subtle grace, I wandered over to the book table and met the author of today's book, David Pedersen. We chatted for a while, and he proved to be an enjoyable conversationalist, telling me about the story he had written. So afterwards, I walked away super excited about this book I had just purchased, graciously signed for me by the author. As a side note, since that day, David Pedersen has gone on to complete 5 books for his Angst collection, as well as other books which are outside this set of stories. There is no doubt that Angst falls firmly within the fantasy genre. But I have to say, it's not your usual cut and paste, strong young man going out and fighting the evils while saving and wooing the damsels. This book is fantasy with a few fun twists thrown within its pages. Now, before I continue, I think this book would be more suited to older teens and adults, due to some scenes of violence and dark psychological moments. However, I should note that these themes are vitally important to the enrichment of the story, rather than being the overwhelming concept. The book begins with our protagonist Angst turning 40. Sullen and despondent, he is sure his dream to be a knight of the kingdom of Unsel, or to make his mark in history, was over. He wanted to be remembered for heroic deeds and wondrous acts. Absolutely sure he was destined for something great. Now, it all appeared too late. Everyone in Unsel knew that 40 years of age was way too old to be a knight, even though Angst was one of the few individuals able to wield the magics. For 2,000 years, magic had been outlawed, repressed, or even outright obliterated throughout the world of Erd. So, Angst is reduced to using his great power to file papers. Beyond this, his personal life isn't anything to celebrate either. While he loves his wife dearly. They have never had children. His friends are unhappy but too settled to do anything about it. And he hates his job. Unfortunately, the queen, his royal sovereign, hates him. However, he finds a kind friendship with her daughter, the Princess Victoria. Then, it all changes. Without warning, the kingdom of Unsel is besieged with monsters. Birds with metallic beaks. Monkey creatures that can dive through solid ground. Mindless, horse-eating giants. Now, the world that shunned magic turns to Angst for help. I mean, why wouldn't you go help the people who hated you? Of course, the aches and pains of middle age need to be dealt with alongside the out-of-control beasties. On the edge of a midlife crisis, Angst drags his reluctant friends with him into an adventure within the heart of magic. He's not sure where they're going, what they'll find, or even if they'll survive. But he knows this is his only chance to be a hero. After all, the only way to fight magic is with magic. There were two initial points which drew me to the story. First, I loved that the hero was a 40-year-old paper pusher, seemingly without a chance of fulfilling his dreams. This is something that I can personally relate to. Past what society sees as his prime, the seeming nobody is offered a chance to fulfill all of his dreams. Second, he was part of a class of people repressed by society, especially in the way the social stigma attached to the use of magic. I was also fascinated by the history of the banishment of magic, which had been lost to the fog of time and rediscovered throughout the book. Thinking about it, there is one more topic I found compelling when choosing this book. We shall call it point 2.5. There are some encouragingly intelligent ladies, with strong personalities despite seemingly fragile bodies. If you've watched my previous videos, you know I prefer to read books in which the female characters, and especially female protagonists, are strong and capable. I felt a fairly quick connection to our protagonist Angst pretty early on. This is achieved by him being yelled at by an idiot at work. I could only empathize. Been there, done that. Due to his brilliant ability with character development, Pedersen caused me to emotionally bond with the actors in this book, and this wonderful use of personality early on allowed me to be wholly drawn into the story. A point that you will often hear me repeat in my reviews is that I love a well-written book. Having a book flow seamlessly adds an extra level of enjoyment. Or it can bore you with a flat, bland nothing if it's just thrown together without any thought to the story's movement. One of the best things about Angst is its rich world building, where the geography made sense and the people were so very believable. Those who know me know that I get really frustrated by two-dimensional personalities, which become facsimiles of humanity with flat conversation and predictable responses. Within Angst, though, it felt as though the reader were peeking into real people's lives in actual settings. But in this book, as I earlier pointed out, the characters are beautifully developed. In fact, each of them interacted so smoothly, it was hard to tell that they were imaginary creations. They actually seemed to be real, especially in the way that they spoke to each other or interacted. It really felt legit. In fact, there were times I wanted desperately to give Angst a solid kick in the rump. And yet there were other times I simply wanted to comfort him with a hug. I also found myself muttering out loud in my irritation with several other characters, including his friends. They seriously bugged me as much as they annoyed Angst himself when they came across as whiny little kids. And when the queen threw Ivan the Knight into his team against his wishes. I kept hoping someone would neuter this horrible man. Another discovery I made when reading this book was that everything in this world, including the places and characters, were christened with wonderful names. Seriously, don't you just hate when the author has used a variety of online names generators just to find something different? Like, okay, I understand, because naming stuff is hard, yo. But a book becomes richer and more elegant when the names of places and people have been obviously and carefully chosen. Mr. Pedersen manages this magnificently. Let me be clear before I enter into the darker side of reviews, aka what I didn't love in this book. I try and be fair in regards to any negativity in a book. I believe that every author, indie or otherwise, puts out a lot of hard work in every book, and I always try and find the positive first. Truly, I found very little to complain about in this book. If I was to comment at all, it is, at times, there were sections in the story that felt abrupt. While it started out great, with each bit flowing naturally into the next, later scenes seemed to move suddenly, causing me to double take to make sure I'm still following along. Now, bear with me for a bit of nitpicking. The royalty of Unsel does not follow the conventional European etiquette, where the king or queen is your majesty and the prince or princess is your highness. In Unsel, it's your majesty for all of them there royals up in that there castle. This is not the first, nor will it be the last time I have stumbled upon this in fiction. It's just one of those things my inner monarchist has to shrug and let go. But man, does it pick at me. His fantastic writing, beautiful world, believable characters, and unique take on fantasy lead us to give David J. Pedersen 4 ducks and a chicken. The little clucker is there just because I wish some of the scenes had been a little less sudden, and the royal protocol had been a tiny bit more rigid. I have linked to the Amazon page for this book. Please do read it if you're a fan of unusual storylines and fantasy. You can also check out David J. Pedersen's Amazon author page, linked below. Have you read Angst? Let's discuss it in the comments, or in my Discord, also linked below. I am there every day and looking forward to building a community of like-minded indie book admirers. If you have a favorite, little-known, self-published novel, please feel free to leave a request for video review for readers on my website, theboardgoddess.weebly.com. The link to the page is listed below. If I choose the book, I will give you a high five in the review. If you are an author of an indie book and you would like me to do a video review on your work, please submit a request on my website. The forum page can be found below as well. I am also on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are there. When I don't have my nose in a book, I am always up for book chat or just saying hi. So guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Adios until next Wednesday. May your day be epic, and may awesomeness follow you like a sad puppy needing hugs. See you next time. Bye all. No! Wrong timing. So, hi and welcome back.
No, just welcome back. There's no hi. I'm not
Okay.
saying hi to anybody.
No highs for anybody.
Nope, only those.
Wonderful story by David J. Pedersen. Angst! Angst! Anyway, what?
This week's review. It's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long day. I feel like somebody took all of my words and played Boggle with them. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for this week's review of a wonderful...
It's joining me.
Joining me for a wonderful... Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for this week's... This week? God. 50 billionth time the charm?
Yeah. But yes, you got it exactly right.
Lo, what did I... What? What did I... What? That one's definitely in the blooper reel. What the what? Lo, what did I behold with my wondering eye? No, that sounds like I'm getting constipated. It was not smooth.
No, it wasn't. It was a bit
Chunky.
choppity.
Hippity hoppity, that's even better.
Choppity.
My hippity hoppity
Yes.
and delivery is hippity and hoppity both. It's mad skills. All right, I'm actually doing this now.
Yep.
Nirvana felt weird.
Yes.
Why?
It's supposed to Nirvana. It was like it was sometimes it's strangulated.
All right, I can redo it.
Just don't struggle Nirvana.
I will try not to struggle with Nirvana. Guys, I had just entered Nirvana. Yes? No? Maybe?
Well, it's just where you spell Nirvana. It's Nirvana. I just entered Nirvana.
Rather than Farvana?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Your one sentence paragraph is turning out to be harder than presumed.
I know, right?
Or advertised. There is no doubt Angst falls firmly within the Fanta? I'll have a Fanta. Okay. But I have to say, it's not your usual cut and paste strong young man going out. Blah, 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 blah.
So close. Try again.
Boggle brain. To the enrichment of the story, rather than being the dyslexia is real, yo. I can.
Yeah. 2.
Take 2. Action.
Oh, actually.
Richer and more elegant. When an author has taken the time to something, I'm making this up as I go along right now.
Clearly.